Hey guys, Joe DeMarco from the Crazy New York Driver Show. Today is Friday, September 29th, 2023. Welcome to another eBay video. Today I'm going to be discussing the eBay seller newsletter that was published a day or two ago, and I'm also going to discuss eBay Open 2023 in Philly and online. The beginning of the video will be me here on camera discussing things. Then, if I'm not super soaked, we will go inside and we will do screenshots of the Philly event. And I hope you enjoy all that. As you can plainly see and possibly hear, it is pouring raining out. It has rained every day this week with the exception of Wednesday, I believe. Wednesday was actually pretty nice. Right now, there are flood conditions out. Grand Central Parkway, closed, flooding. Cross Island, closed, flooding. Belt Parkway, closed, flooding, and most of the subways are down. This is monumental rain. We're going to get, I think, between 5 and 8 inches before it stops tomorrow. Unbelievable. But anyway, let's talk eBay. We'll start out with the seller newsletter that they put out the other day. Well, guys, I have good news. First of all, eBay states they are now going to sanction unpaid bidders after all these years. Finally. Now, they haven't come out and said exactly how many unpaid item cases they're going to let any one person have, but they said they will finally start sanctioning them. For instance, if somebody doesn't pay for your item and it's their first time, they'll just get a warning. All right, I get that. But I'm not sure how many warnings they're allowed before they're suspended and until they're actually kicked off the site. This has been a really long time in coming, and I think it's great news. Second item, also excellent news, is immediate payment feature has been rolled out to everybody when they click best offer. So if somebody is going to send you a best offer, they have to have their credit card information entered, or they have to manually enter it in order to complete the purchase. You can no longer be stung when you accept the best offer. There is one asterisk, and this has happened to me. And I brought this up with the employees the other day at Philly. Let's say a person does have his credit card on file with eBay, but let's say he sends you a best offer of $50 on your item, but he only has $30 on his card. Right now, eBay has no way to detect this, so the sale will go through. Once that happens, you will not be paid immediately, even though it says you will. Either A, the buyer will then have to fund his card, put extra money on it to buy your item and complete the purchase, or B, he'll just be a deadbeat bidder. The employee I talked to says they're aware of this, and right now they don't have the tools in place to combat this, but they're working on it, and maybe in the future they will have an answer for this. But even considering that, I am very happy with the way things are going right now. It looks like things have turned in our favor, so that's very good news. This week, sales, I would say, continue to be slower than normal, which is something that's across the board on eBay. I talked to a lot of sellers in person and online this week, and just about everybody says they're significantly down. Even the eBay employees I talked to say sales are significantly down. I don't know if this is just a temporary bump in the road. I would like to think that it is. But still, You got to take the good with the bad with the good. When I was in Philly, I talked to the eBay executives and employees about the issues that count. Now, unfortunately, there was only 200 people at each of the live events. There were four of them. There was Philly, there was Atlanta, there was Phoenix, and there was someplace else which I can't remember. Each event, I believe, booked 200 people, 200 sellers. And of course, there's only a limited number of eBay employees you can talk to. And when you talk to them, you can't take a half an hour of their time because there's other people waiting. Kabish? So maybe we had 5 or 10 minutes with each employee to talk to, so I had to really rattle off my concerns. The first concern I rattled off was what I just told you now about people not having enough money on their credit card. We talked about that, and the employee totally understood. The second concern that I rattled off was when a buyer purchases our item and pays for it, and they're happy, and then eBay shows them the exact same item that they just bought from us at a cheaper price. Now, the employee that I talked to was from Seller Protections, and the employee claimed that they had never seen this themselves. Yet, every single seller that I talked to in person knew exactly what I was talking about. So anyway, I brought it up to her, and the answer that she gave me was, I'm going to make a note of this, and I'm going to hand it off to the team that handles it. Guys, I'm just relating what happened, okay? So yeah. Let me talk a little bit about the online event now, if I may. For those of you guys who actually attended the online event, I'm sure you enjoyed yourself and you found it very informative. I ran into a bunch of you that knew me unexpectedly and greeted me in the rooms, and I thank you for your greeting. I also thanked those of you who I met in person in Philly who came up to me, especially those who I never met before, and came up and introduced themselves. Thank you very much. It was great talking to you and hanging out with you. As far as the online event is concerned, some of you guys may have noticed that I hosted the eBay Motors breakout room, where I had two other folks on camera with me, Dave and Amanda, and it went pretty good. I'm very happy with it. I try to address all your comments, questions, and concerns as best I can. They also had keynote addresses from various eBay executives, speakers, who talked about a lot of things, and I still notice that they're putting an unusual amount of effort into sneakers and watches. Sneakers and watches, to the point that during the presentations, sellers were typing in the comment box things like, enough with the sneakers already. Can we move away from sneakers? Sneakers are a very high-end product, and I know there's people that are really into collecting them, and they can run crazy money. I am proud to say I've never spent more than $115 for a pair of sneakers in my life. And I bought them in Foot Locker. I'm just not into fancy sneakers. It's not me. I'm not into fancy anything. I'm a blue-collar, bare-bones type person. But apparently eBay is courting the sneaker enthusiast and the watch enthusiast. And eBay is also courting a lot of younger buyers. And they came right out and said it. They're courting buyers that are under 30 years old. Now, I can honestly look you in the face and tell you probably 90% of my buyers are over 30. Anybody over 30 is going to buy from me. Most people under 30 won't buy from me, and it's weird. It's not that they don't drive a car, because they all do. It's that they just, It doesn't interest them. In my brick and mortar store, I can't tell you how many times over the years middle-aged people my age would come in with their phone in their hand, like this. Look, here, I'll be the customer. Look. Hi, I wonder if you could help me. I need a hubcap for my son, and I got a picture of it here on my phone, and I'd like to know if you have it and how much it is. And then I'll say to them, oh yeah, I have that in stock. Give them a price, availability, and I'll say, I'm just curious, how come your son doesn't come in and buy it himself? How old is he? And they'll reply, oh, he's 21 years old. He won't come in. No, he wants the hubcap. He's been bugging me to get it for him, but he won't come in and get it himself. I cannot relate to you how many times over the years I heard that line in my brick and mortar store, and it seems to be carrying over to eBay. So yeah, basically that's all I want to discuss here outside now. I want to go inside where it's going to be somewhat drier, and I want to do screenshots from the Philadelphia event the other night and give you guys an idea of how it went. Let's do that now. And maybe tomorrow the rain will lighten up a little bit, or not. Okay guys, let me get started with my presentation regarding eBay Open 2023 in Philly on September 26th, 2023. It was held in this venue called Mulan, which is located in a rather unusual section of Philly. Right across the street was this old factory that's converted and now has several separate entities in it. I actually walked over there just to check the building because it has a lot of historic value, and it really got me to thinking that in downtown Philly there are a lot of historic buildings I would love to go exploring in, just like I do in New York City, but I think I'm going to stick to New York City if you don't mind. Here we are waiting online. I drove down with a friend of mine, the two of us, and her and I stood online, and we were approximately number 6 and 7 respectively, because the event started at 5 p.m. and we got there a little after 4 p.m. because I didn't know how long it was going to take. This is as we just walked in. You can see nobody has even entered yet. Everybody wearing black is an eBay employee waiting to greet us as we go in. This is the check-in line where we had to hand in our driver's license and then get our name tag. This is the line of people trying to get in that were behind me. This was the first food tray that was out. These were just snacks such as shrimp, which didn't do me any good because I don't eat any seafood. I am one of those people that never ate seafood. It just was never my thing, and I was never really exposed to it as a kid. These are some of the vendors that were lined up on the sides of the room, outside vendors that were there to sell their services. This is the main presentation room where people are sitting down to get ready because the presentation was going to be by none other than eBay CEO Jamie Iannone himself. Here I am sitting with my friend Viv. She's a popular eBay seller as well. And as you can see, it was a festive atmosphere. Here you can see her on stage talking to the crowd. eBay Open Studio Philly. As I said, in addition to Philly, there were 3 other venues that were hosting this event. This is something I always do. I always take a picture of my food because it's polite and it's etiquette to do so. This was the table I happened to be sitting at briefly, and there was nothing in the box. That's just tissue paper. But I had to look in there to see what was going on. You can see in the background people lining up at the food tray and commiserating. This was the dessert tray that they brought out later on, and I was one of the first people to attack that, as you can probably imagine. There's a close-up view. I myself grabbed 3 of these little cakes right here and wolfed them down 2 at a time. They were quite filling, and I had coffee with them. And this is the coffee in question. And in case anybody didn't believe me, there is a picture of my coffee and my cake, because I'm one of these people that loves to document everything. So yeah, let's continue. There is the man himself, eBay CEO Jamie Iannone. And believe it or not, I was humbled that he came over to me to talk to me. It was great. Brian Burke introduced him to me, and he had actually heard of me. He knew the name Hubcap Joe, which is my eBay seller name, and we had a nice conversation. And as I attested to earlier when I was outside on my deck, I talked to Jamie about a very important issue that I've talked to you guys about in the past, and it's false item not as described claims. Remember, I've been telling you guys for the longest time that I would like to see a committee in each category formed of top-rated sellers where we could vet any of the false item not as described claims that are disputed by sellers. For instance, if you sold a green sweater to a customer and he opened an item not as described claim and in the comments section said, "I thought I was getting a blue sweater." Well, that's his fault, not yours. But the way the system is set up now, you are screwed and you must pay return shipping. My idea is that the seller would then click dispute this claim, and it would go to a committee with top-rated sellers from that particular category, and we would vet the claim. I think it's a very good idea, and I personally told this idea to Jamie Iannone, and whether anything's going to come of it or not, I don't know, but he did seem to be interested in what I had to say, and that's all you can ask for. Because you got to admit, guys, to my knowledge, eBay is the only platform where the executives, the CEO, and other high-ranking members will come out and mix with the sellers. You don't get this at Amazon. You don't. As far as Poshmark and Mercari, I would say probably not, although I'm not experts on either one of them. But yeah, as far as the event is concerned, I was very happy with it. I think things went well. I will continue to go to every live event that I can possibly get to. Now, I thank you for checking out my little pictorial of the eBay Philly event. And let's do some closing comments. Okay, guys, that about sums up everything. I hope you enjoyed my presentation regarding eBay Open in Philadelphia and some updates with the seller newsletter that they just published the other day. Please enter your comments, questions, and concerns in the comment section below. And always remember, I'm Crazy New York Driver and you're not. Thank you for watching. I hope you make a ton of sales this week on eBay. Rock on and peace.